Have you ever found yourself wondering why some men seem to have effortless, fulfilling relationships while others struggle with constant misunderstandings, heartbreaks, or even being manipulated? Is it luck? Is it charm? Or is it something deeper, something rooted in wisdom? The truth is, smart men don't just know what to do in relationships. They also understand what not to do. And today, we're diving into 9 things that smart men who live by Stoic principles avoid. When dealing with women, this isn't just about dating, it's about how you carry yourself, how you protect your peace, and ultimately, how you build a love life that isn't driven by chaos but by strength and understanding. So, if you want to avoid common pitfalls that could ruin your relationships, stay till the end because this could change your love life. And before we get started, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. It really helps us grow and bring more content like this to you. Now, let's get into it. 1. Seeking validation instead of self-mastery. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you needed constant reassurance? Maybe you kept wondering, does she still love me? Am I good enough? Am I making her happy? And if she didn't respond to your text right away or didn't seem as affectionate, did your mind start spiraling? If you've ever felt this way, trust me, you're not alone. Many men fall into the trap of seeking validation from women. And I get it, we all want to feel loved, valued, and appreciated. But here's the harsh truth. The more you rely on a woman to validate your worth, the more power you give away. Let me tell you about James. James was a smart, successful guy. He had everything going for him: a good job, great friends, and even a passion for fitness. But the moment he got into a relationship, something changed. Suddenly, he wasn't that confident, self-assured man anymore. He was always asking for love instead of commanding respect. Do you still love me? Are you happy with me? Do I make you feel special? At first, his girlfriend Sarah reassured him. But as time passed, she started feeling drained. Why? Because James wasn't standing in his own power. He was putting the responsibility of his self-worth on her. And women, whether they realize it or not, start losing respect for men who constantly seek validation. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Think about that for a moment. Your power comes from within, not from someone else's opinion of you. Women don't want to be the source of your confidence. They want a man who is already confident, a man who doesn't need constant reassurance. So let me ask you, have you ever been James? Have you ever put a woman on a pedestal and let her be the judge of your worth? If yes, here's how you stop. Shift your focus from her approval to self-mastery. Get stronger, develop new skills, work on yourself. Be secure in your own value. If a woman pulls away, you don't panic, you stay composed, because you know who you are. Remember, confidence is silent, insecurity is loud. The more you beg for love, the less attractive you become. Women are drawn to men who don't need them but choose to be with them. So the next time you catch yourself seeking validation, stop. Take a deep breath, look in the mirror, and remind yourself, you are enough. Now, let's move to the second mistake, which is just as dangerous: letting emotions control your actions. 2. Letting emotions control your actions. Imagine this. You're on a date. Everything is going great. You're laughing. She's engaged. The energy is perfect. But then, out of nowhere, she says something that hits a nerve. Maybe she teases you about your job, compares you to her ex, or says something that makes you feel small. At that moment, you have a choice. Option 1. You react emotionally. You snap back, get defensive, and let your anger dictate your response. Option 2. You stay calm. You control your emotions instead of letting them control you. Most men, unfortunately, choose option 1, and that's where everything falls apart. Let me tell you about Daniel. He was in a relationship with a woman he deeply loved, but Daniel had one problem: he was too reactive. Anytime his girlfriend disagreed with him, challenged him, or even joked about something personal, he took it personally. One night they were out at dinner. and she made a playful joke about his fashion sense. Instead of laughing it off, Daniel got upset. His mood changed instantly, and the fun energy disappeared. The rest of the night was tense, and by the time they got home, she was emotionally checked out. Here's what Daniel didn't understand. Women test men not because they're trying to hurt them, but because they want to see how strong they are. Marcus Aurelius said, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." Women don't want a man who gets flustered at the smallest provocation. They want a man who can handle life, who can laugh at himself, who doesn't get easily shaken. So, let me ask you, have you ever let your emotions ruin a moment with a woman? Have you ever reacted instead of responding? If yes, here's how to fix it. Pause before reacting. When you feel triggered, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this worth losing my composure over? Master your emotions, or they will master you. A Stoic man stays calm under pressure. Don't take things personally. Most of the time, women test men without even realizing it. If you stay unfazed, you gain more respect. The next time you're in a situation where your emotions start bubbling up, remember, the strongest man is the one who remains in control. Now, let's move to the next mistake, making a woman the center of your life. 3. Making a woman the center of your life. Tell me honestly, have you ever fallen for someone so hard that you started ignoring everything else in your life? Maybe you skipped the gym, stopped focusing on your career, or even lost touch with your friends, all because you wanted to be with her all the time. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. This was exactly what happened to Michael. He was a hardworking guy, always grinding to build his future. But then he met Emma, and everything changed. At first, Emma loved his ambition. She admired how focused he was. But as weeks passed, Michael started prioritizing her over everything else. He canceled his workouts to spend more time with her. He ignored his friends because he didn't want to be away from her. He even started slacking at work, texting her all day instead of getting things done. And guess what happened? Emma lost interest. Why? Because the man she fell for, the driven, independent, ambitious man, was gone. He had become too available, too dependent, too obsessed. Marcus Aurelius said it best. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. A smart man knows that his mission in life must come first. A woman should be a complement to your journey, not the center of it. So let me ask you, are you losing yourself in your relationship? Have you forgotten your goals, your passions, your purpose? If yes, here's how you fix it. Keep your priorities in order. Women respect men who are dedicated to something greater than just a relationship. Make time for yourself. Never abandon your hobbies, friends, or goals. Remember, attraction fades when mystery disappears. The more you have going on in your life, the more attractive you become. The best relationships happen when you remain your own man. Never lose yourself for anyone. 4. Tolerating disrespect. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt disrespected, but you stayed quiet because you didn't want to ruin things? Maybe she made sarcastic comments about you in front of her friends, dismissed your opinions, or even flirted with other men to get a reaction out of you. And instead of calling it out, you let it slide. You told yourself, maybe she didn't mean it that way. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. If this sounds familiar, then listen up, because this could save you from years of frustration. Let me tell you about Alex. Alex was a smart, hardworking guy. When he met his girlfriend, she was everything he wanted: fun, beautiful, and exciting. But over time, little things started happening. She would talk over him when he was speaking. She would laugh at his opinions like they didn't matter. She would cancel plans at the last minute, but expect him to drop everything for her. At first, he ignored it. He thought, if I just keep being a good boyfriend, she'll appreciate me more. But here's the truth: the more he tolerated disrespect, the more she lost respect for him. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." A Stoic man understands that self-respect is non-negotiable. So, let me ask you, have you ever stayed in a relationship where you weren't being treated the way you deserved? Did you ignore the red flags, hoping things would get better? Here's how a smart man handles disrespect. 1. He sets boundaries early. If something bothers him, he calmly communicates it. 2. He doesn't argue or beg for respect. He simply walks away if it's not given. 3. He understands that love without respect is just attachment. The harsh truth is that women don't respect men who tolerate disrespect. If you allow it once, she do it again. And again. And eventually, she won't even see you as a man, she see you as someone she can walk all over. So if you've been in Alex's shoes, it's time to make a change. Because the moment you start respecting yourself, you'll notice something powerful. Women will start respecting you too. 5. Trying to fix or change a woman. Be honest with me, have you ever fallen for a woman who was a project? Maybe she was emotionally unavailable, had trust issues, or had a self-destructive lifestyle. But instead of walking away, you thought, I can change her. My love will fix her. If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. Many men make this mistake. And it always ends the same way, with frustration, heartbreak, and wasted time. Let me tell you about Ryan. Ryan was a good guy. He had his life together. A good career, a strong mindset. Then he met Lisa. Lisa was exciting, unpredictable, and wild. She had a troubled past, but Ryan saw her potential. She had trust issues. He would prove he was different. She had toxic habits. He would help her change. She was emotionally distant. He would love her enough to break her walls down. But no matter how much love, patience, and effort he gave her, she stayed the same. Because people don't change unless they want to. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. A Stoic man understands that his job is to improve himself, not fix others. So, let me ask you, have you ever stayed in a relationship, hoping she would become the woman you wanted her to be? If yes, here's how you stop this cycle. 1. Accept people for who they are, not who you wish they could be. 2. Walk away from toxic situations instead of trying to fix them. 3. Understand that real love is about choosing someone who is already the right fit, not forcing a bad fit to work. Ryan eventually realized this hard truth. You can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved. He let go, focused on himself, and later met someone who matched his energy without needing to be fixed. If you've ever been in Ryan's situation, remember this: love should feel easy. If you have to fix someone to make it work, it's not love, it's self-sacrifice. 6. Over-explaining yourself. Let me ask you this: have you ever felt the need to justify every decision, action, or opinion in a relationship? Maybe she questioned something about you, and instead of answering confidently, you started over-explaining, over-defending, and over-proving yourself. And the more you explained, the less she respected you. Well, let me tell you about Jason. Jason was a strong, independent guy, but when he got into a relationship, he had a habit of over-explaining. One day, his girlfriend asked, "Why don't you post about me on social media?" Instead of answering simply, Jason went into a 5-minute explanation. "Oh, it's not that I don't want to. It's just that I don't really use social media that much. And I don't think it's necessary. And also, I don't want people all in our business." And by the time he finished, his girlfriend wasn't even listening. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." A Stoic man understands that confidence is silent, weakness is loud. So, let me ask you, have you ever found yourself explaining things too much, hoping she'd understand? If yes, here's how to fix it. 1. Answer with confidence, not desperation. Keep your explanations short and to the point. 2. Understand that you don't need permission to be yourself. If she doesn't accept something about you, it's not your job to convince her. 3. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Instead of proving, just be. Jason eventually learned that the strongest response is often the shortest one. For example, "Why don't you post me on social media?" "I just don't do that." "Why do you hang out with your friends so much?" "Because I enjoy it." No over-explaining needed. "Why don't you say I love you more often?" "I show it in other ways." 7. Chasing instead of attracting. Let me ask you something, have you ever chased a woman so hard that you lost yourself in the process? Maybe you kept texting her even when she barely responded, kept planning dates even when she showed little interest, or kept trying to prove that you were the perfect guy for her. And deep down, you knew something was off. But you told yourself, if I just try harder, if I just show her how much I care, she finally see my worth. Sound familiar? Let me tell you about Brian. Brian met a woman named Jessica. And from the moment he saw her, he was hooked. She was beautiful, confident, and had this magnetic energy. And so he pursued her relentlessly. He sent good morning texts every day, even when she rarely replied. He planned elaborate dates even though she never showed real enthusiasm. He constantly checked her social media, wondering if she was talking to other guys. And guess what? The harder he chased, the more she pulled away. Because here's a truth most men don't realize. Women don't respect men who chase. They respect men who attract. Marcus Aurelius said, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." A Stoic man understands that desperation repels while confidence attracts. So let me ask you, have you ever been in Brian's shoes? Have you ever chased a woman who gave you little in return? If yes, here's how to fix it. 1. Stop chasing. Instead, focus on building an attractive life. When you're busy improving yourself, the right women naturally come to you. 2. Let go of women who show low interest. If she's not matching your energy, walk away. 3. Understand that true attraction is effortless. If you have to force it, it's not real. When Brian finally stepped back and focused on himself, something interesting happened. Jessica became interested. She started texting first, started asking to see him, started showing up in ways she never had before. 8. Being too available. Think back to a time when you were so into someone that you were willing to drop everything for them. Maybe you canceled plans with your friends, answered their texts within seconds, or said yes to whatever they wanted just to keep them happy. At first it felt good. You were showing how much you cared. But then something strange happened. She started pulling away. The more you made yourself available, the less interested she seemed. Let me tell you about Mark. Mark was a good guy. He was reliable, kind, and always there for his girlfriend. Whenever she needed him, he was there. Whenever she called, he answered. Whenever she wanted something, he provided. But over time, she lost attraction. She started flirting with other guys. She stopped appreciating him. And one day, she said something that shattered him. "I just don't feel the same way anymore," Marcus Aurelius once said. A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. A Stoic man understands that he must be his own priority. So, let me ask you, have you ever given too much of yourself to someone who didn't appreciate it? If yes, here's how to fix it. 1. Have your own life. Make sure you have personal goals, hobbies, and commitments that don't revolve around her. 2. Don't be too easy to reach. A little space creates mystery and keeps attraction alive. 3. Make her earn your time. The most attractive men are those who have options not just with women, but in life. Women don't fall for men who are always available. They fall for men who value themselves enough to set boundaries. Now, let's move to the final mistake, neglecting your masculine frame. 9. Neglecting your masculine frame. Let me ask you this, have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you weren't in control? Maybe she made all the decisions, set all the rules, and dictated how the relationship should go. And at first, you went along with it because you thought it would make her happy. But instead of bringing her closer, she started losing respect for you. This is exactly what happened to Chris. Chris was an intelligent, successful guy, but when he got into a relationship, he lost his masculine frame. He let his girlfriend decide everything, where they went, what they did, how they spent time together. He started seeking her approval instead of standing firm in his beliefs. He stopped leading the relationship and instead just followed whatever she wanted. And over time, she lost attraction. She started testing him more, pushing his limits, and even criticizing him in front of others. Because here's something most men don't realize: women don't want to lead. They want a strong man who leads with confidence. Marcus Aurelius put it best: a man should be upright, not kept upright. A Stoic man stands firm in his values. He is not easily swayed. So, let me ask you, have you ever abandoned your own strength to please a woman? If yes, here's how to reclaim your masculine frame. 1. Make decisions with confidence. If she asks, "Where should we go?" have an answer. Women admire men who take the lead. 2. Don't change your beliefs to match hers. Stay true to your opinions, even if she disagrees. 3. Maintain emotional control. A strong man is composed, even in chaos. Chris eventually realized that when a man loses his frame, he loses everything. He started making decisions with certainty, prioritizing his own goals, and reclaiming his self-respect. And guess what? His girlfriend noticed. She started seeing him as a leader again, started respecting him more, and most importantly, started feeling attracted to him again. Because at the end of the day, women don't want a weak man who follows. They want a strong man who leads. These 9 principles aren't just about relationships. They're about becoming a stronger, wiser, and more disciplined man. And when you do that, the right woman will recognize it. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.